usually every April. So I have my meeting scheduled actually March next Friday to look at and changes we've had for the district so we can capture those long-term reservoirs and make sure you can market that accurately and come back with the lift rates. He was already told me he's seeing 10 to 20% increase from all of the other districts and corporate business in general. So that's just an indication.
Are we going with one vendor, or do we have a access to?
So the agent we use markets to every vendor.
So they're like a multi-house, and they go and find, and then, the chair's perfect.
Yes, that's exactly what they are. So those are the major inflation drivers this year. We have supplies yet too. Some of the general supplies, so there's some miscellaneous supplies we buy here for districts, paper pencils, and so forth. That was a significant increase. We had an increase in our electricity costs. That.
You don't have electricity, okay.
The electricity, I believe it was up.
15,000.
I was going to say, I think it was about 15,000. Somebody's taking notes. That's what I say. I thought it was about 15,000. This room kind of more.
We need to cut the deals on the fresh
We use portions of it is through MedEd, but we work with another agency that kind of does that. It's IGS, based out of Ohio, and they actually meet monthly to review energy costs and lock those in as they're favorable. For increases they have been unfavorable recently.
The miscellaneous stuff and the general supplies, is that just things that are, the prices of things that we're already getting is increasing, or are there more things that we're buying?
And I would say from our review, nobody's buying extras. It's mostly, I would say, the biggest factor, shipping costs are going up. Cost of fuel is kind of delegated back out to the people buying. The shipping costs have been significantly increased. Amazon and some others who have less shipping. The cost of the pencils is roughly the same, it's just the extra. That 10% shipping is like 12%.
So I don't know why you're not.
We have a specific window of time that we have to purchase things. So within that certain specific time, it doesn't always align with specials that Amazon and others will give for free shipping. Oftentimes, in the previous setting, we had materials that we needed to purchase and from the chair we put down free shipping, and I put that down because when we order, the free shipping is gone. They no longer offer it. So please include that.
We also need to get Amazon Prime again.
Not everything yet. So we do also do a lot of bulk purchasing through the joint purchasing board. They do that as a collective of the member districts. So we would not use them this summer because it's necessarily part of it, but there is some shipping costs in there.
So I use like co-op.
Correct.
Yes, so I believe most are members of that supply. Any other questions?
What supplies you use at?
That is mostly our software that we use here at the district. A lot of software.
So there's something in there that we're purchasing?
I think a lot of it's just like we talked about, their software discussed. I know personally the software I use in the business office every year is a percentage increase. And that's just part of having the software.
So $49,000, is that like what we normally see in a software increase?
So Dr. Mitchell revamped our software, how many years ago? Last year? 2 years?
I think I started about 2.5 years ago revamping it.
So we've actually saw a significant decrease, and now we've kind of reset for what software we have, and we're still working through. Dr. that, what software we have for the district, we're finding that, it's just the existing software we're using is just Dr. M, that we're not adding.
No, we did not add any.
I would say 90% of software comes out of her.
Yeah, that's really, that's leveraging multiple years working with, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. With increases, the same thing as, with the inflation, they up their prices every year. There were also some of our companies that we work with, when I reached out to get quotes for the budget, that they can give multi-year deals where they discount, save some money, so where it might cost more in this budget, then it won't be in the next 2-year budget. So they can give us some cost savings there. But no, we didn't add any.
Like we actually,
Yeah, we actually cut that.
Much more.
it's 40,000.
Cut 48,000, and there's $49,000 in inflation increase.
Correct.
So does that equal out to,
No.
or did you cut the 48,000 and still ending up 49,000 over where we were at before?
Correct.
So the inflation's almost like 100,000 in inflation?
That's quite a lot of inflation on something like that.
Say, we also have a lot of software.
Contracts. So as we have agreements and contracts, percentages each year of each contract go up.
I mean, we're at $42 million worth of budget, so that, we have a lot of software. So that does cost a lot. Even individual software.
Well, then again, so my question, is it normally seen, and instead of 49, unless it's normally seen almost $100,000 in a year of increases?
I would say that inflation recently has anything but normal, so I can't say that this is a normal increase compared to prior, like other years.
Well, last year was 311, and you're saying it went up 100,000.
That was just a budget number, 311. That's what we thought. So we had an actual cost that was at 302.
Yeah, but now we're saying it's increasing 100,000. Based on the cut 49 and it's increasing.
So I would say that we're only saying
49.
But you said you cut, so you cut, and it went up positive. Yeah.
I can. We'd say that the difference is
Right, but we're like, it's a big jump to get from 100 to,
but I don't think it's that big.
it's like a third of what's budgeted.
Yeah.
42.8 million, 100,000 jumps is not very much of a total budget. So I think it's just a difference of.
And we'll remember that when we get to some of the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, any questions, I guess, on the inflation? So, we already somewhat talked about savings, we're just going down through, so, one position or one FTE, full-time equivalent staff member.
You don't want to say?
Well, as soon as I say something, it goes out, but we are looking at innovative practice to be able to absorb one FTE.
So that position hasn't been eliminated.
No, that position is a requirement, so we're simply not going to hire back for that, so that's a cost savings of attrition.
So you did actually cut it.
Oh, yeah.
Fire. I mean, you're cutting.
Got it.
I specifically asked them to
Position.
class
Yeah, I can say
Higher.
that.
I agree.
So fees, we already saved a lot of fees through tax, or taxing software and stuff, some fees and stuff, they restructured, and fees actually went down. We already talked about software, supplies, the same thing, we were able to cut out some supplies before that we no longer need. Obviously, the inflation kind of supersedes that the same manner. And then the equipment is the bus and some the cameras. that was just the expense side of stuff, now we're going through some revenue. So on the flip side, we have some increases in local revenue. We got about 228,000. That does not include any tax increase the board may or may not enact. So this 228,000 increase for local revenue does not include any tax increase the board may enact this year. Right now, it's showing like a 0% tax increase. A lot of that's just assessed values going up. We had some homes being built. So that's some of their earned income tax is always usually based off of the prior year's actuals and set similar to state funding. Because earned income tax is unable to predict, so that's the only prediction we have is it's going to more than likely be at it was the prior year. So it's kind of following that philosophy. And then obviously miscellaneous revenue. Some of them went up, some went down, so it kind of just had a little bit of positive. The state, we are flat funding at current funding levels. The state gave us $853,000 last year through basic ed subsidy, special ed subsidy, and the bulk of that, so 501,000, was to be ready to learn grade. So that was the bulk of what the state did. They revamped their adequacy, they call it adequacy formula, that runs through the basic ed subsidy. Kind of pulled that out of the adequacy formula now, and that changed that. We obviously saw some increases in teachers and social security reimbursements. The state reimburses us portions of our social security. And then federal, Title I, Title II, Title IV. Federal hardly ever sees much movement at all. So this is just kind of questions that I guess on the revenue side. All right, so we'll jump.
So you learned, yeah, it was the adequacy funding that the state gave.
Yeah, so the adequacy formula came out from the, was it the lawsuit, the funding lawsuit that Pennsylvania had for education funds, that it was fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, so now they changed that, they added a adequacy formula and a tax supplement. Each district runs through that and they can get either adequacy or tax or both, depending on your personal district. We do not receive any tax equity. What that does is it specifically has to be used to offset property taxes, that's personally what that's for. We don't qualify for that here. We don't get any from the state. The Ready to Learn grant has its own criteria and it focuses on its own rules that we have to apply that money. Correct. And then the proposal this year for the governor's proposal was to double that, the 501,000 again, on top of the whole 501,000, so that will almost double that. So a lot of our increase that we're just going to have on the other side is coming from where it's from investing in.
so I heard the governor's plan
Yes.
to increase that, and nothing that needs to be final.
Well, the joke is the state will approve that on June 45th. Because they have to have June 30th, but they don't make on July, so they make June instead. Yeah,
Which forces us to.
yes. So we have to by June 30th, and they will find us and charge us money, $300 a day. We don't have something to by June 30th. That's kind of always the catch we have with state. All right, so we're going to jump into budget priorities. So this was on last month's presentation for FP&S. Now with some numbers attached to them. So the biggest difference is everything's the same except the second SSO is no longer priorities for
Yeah, as I was talking with Dr. Naylor and looking at security officer Lorenz and what he's been able to do for us, understanding that our current members, of course, rentals, along with a potential substitute service that, where we could make sure that we're not without a security officer, that we provide for our needs as we met both as we move forward. I talked to Dr. Neal about that. That's something that we can look at again and revisit, but I think at this point in time, he meets our needs.
So when you say substitute service, you mean he's like on vacation?
Correct, because he's entitled to a number of days that he can have off according to his contract. He gets sick, things happen, so we want to make sure that we have somebody available to us if he's not able to be here. And we have that service with, M Protective Services this past year to come in, and they've been very professional, very polished, and have done very well in the time that we provided, such services. But again, one of the main options for any such service that can provide for security services that we have. I just feel better having, knowing that we have someone to back up as for a day off because we all get sick.
Here's what I just did not think. In addition to him sometimes, certain times. So, does he spend the majority of his time at like the high school, middle school, or?
He travels all around, and the support that he's provided to our assistant principals and principals in the investigation, the conversation, and just his ability to go before the parents in situations that are a little uncomfortable because of discipline issues has made a big impact in the feel, the understanding, and just the culture, the climate of the. So he has done an excellent job. If we could clone him and have a second, I'd say absolutely. The second part of that is it's very difficult to find a good social or security officer, and we saw that this year with the number of applicants that we had out. So we could potentially have that in the budget and not be able to find anybody until March or April of 2026. So I feel as though it's better to have somebody that we know is going to be needed and also have that substitute service available for when he's not, so that we have something in hand instead of waiting and potentially not finding.
I do recall when we had this issue in the past, like we would outsource it and they would pay the officer, security officer, very low amount, and they're getting a higher amount, and then we can't keep them.
Correct. Correct. That's
So
how
that's
some
still
members
somewhat
work.
of a restriction. No?
Is that person's
No, we have our internal, but if we want extra, then that becomes an issue. Again, because let's say you want him more than you think you're gonna need him, and then all of a sudden you're in that same zone.
Correct, and we've had that situation with our current supplemental contract. So, as we look at that, I would look at, again, talking with Dr. Miller about this, we would look at a supplemental contract for another vendor to provide for the supplemental services, because we do have additional security for events like football games, graduation, prom, homecoming, and those events.
So do you want to discuss each of those items up there?
We can go through them again to refresh the last one. So the request, or the budget priority, I should say, is to move part-time admin assistant to full-time.
I will stop there. Let's discuss that one.
Okay.
I say no. I don't see any reason to do that before the merge. I think we should make all the decisions today. That's my opinion. Anybody else have an opinion?
I agree, my opinion on the service is probably wrong. I think that there's no need to increase the amount of administrative assistant. I mean, that the goal was to, for the merger of the two buildings to decrease the amount of administrative costs.
Could you explain the reason why you want to change it?
Yeah, currently we have one full-time administrative assistant at the high school and a part-time administrative assistant. We have roughly a number of, actually, yes, in the office. In the counseling office, we have a full-time employee in the counseling office. Part of the conversation about part-time to full-time was also to help offset other losses that we've had, to be able to increase opportunities with technology, central registration, central registration, athletics, athletics.
So when we do merge, are we going to have a middle school, are we going to have, so you have the administrative secretaries and the finance, what we're talking about, correct? Are we going to have two separate locations for these administrative services, for one for middle school and one for high school?
No, they're all going to be in that central same office area.
Okay.
And
But the two that are at the middle school now, or the two we see in front, they will remain, right? They'll come over.
Unknown how we're restructuring all.
We don't know how we're restructuring.
And that's my issue, because they're talking about raising taxes to do this. And then last month you said, I said, well, what if you find out like the emergency don't need it? They said, they don't cut it, but we raised taxes to do it. That's why I don't agree with doing anything to the merge.
And that's fine, our merge isn't really going to happen as far as the board has shared until 26, 27, so, yeah.
I agree. Yeah, let's
We
wait.
do.
Let's wait. Let's wait.
Yeah.
Let's wait.
We're waiting.
Let's wait. All right, you got a question on the mic?
And then the other staffing request was to add TA, teaching assistant, to the secondary emotional support classroom, which is the only support classroom, special education that does not have a teaching assistant assigned. Some of that struggle is kind of continuing in and out of regular ed, and in that classroom also for the first year. It's kind of a portion of that class.
And that's the class where the students or the teachers will send the child back to work, because all day long, and what's the
Correct. Right now, it's one teacher